Alright guys, well, we've got week 4, Tuesday, video notes. This is Mr. Gara here, and let's get started. The quick review, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when you have a fraction equals another fraction, you've got that variable you have there. The way you solve it here was just as simple as cross multiplying. Alright, so if we were to do this, we would say, well, we've got to cross multiply here, and we've got to cross multiply here. Some of you may have called it butterfly. That's a little weird for me. I just like the cross multiplication. So when we do that, let's make this actually a separate color to make this just a little bit easier for us here. So we've got the x times 7, and that's just going to be as simple as 7x. All right. And then the red one is going to be 3 times 14. 3 times 10 is 30, 3 times 4 is 12, 30 plus 12 is 42. Then it's just as simple as solving, guys. Then you're going to just divide by 7 each side. And so 42 divided by 7 is just x equals 6. Oh, 6. Oh, jeez Louise, that's just terrible, isn't it? There you go. X equals 6 up there, so it's just a quick cross multiplication, and then you just solve for x as shown. So yeah, I don't want to do that because I can't explain too well because I'm thinking about the stupid accent. But so yeah, guys, hopefully you guys, that refreshes your memory. You just quickly do that cross multiplication thing, multiply diagonally, set them equal to each other, and then you solve. Right, simple as that. Really, it's going to apply the same way, even though these denominators are going to kind of look a little bit more crazy, like so, right? It's not just an x and a number in our denominators, or it's not just as simple as, you know, a fraction equals another fraction, right? Now we got rationals going on here. But it's the same exact process, right? You're just going to cross-multiply and then solve for x, right? Again, it's not always going to be so simple, like when we get down to number 4, ooh, right? That's going to be a little bit crazy, right? You're going to have to do a little bit more multiplying, distributing, all that kind of stuff. But you're going to see, guys, it's going to be the same exact process, no matter how complicated it is, right? So today's lesson shouldn't be too bad for us. So let's get started. Again, I'm always going to be using 2 colors just so we get a visual on, you know, what we're cross-multiplying. So for number 1, again, you're going to start with cross-multiplying. So you're going to multiply 2x times 5. And you know what? I'm not going to circle because that's going to get ugly. I'm just going to put a line through it. So you're going to cross multiply those. Actually, no, I'm going to circle it. Woo! Okay, so you're going to cross multiply these. So 2x times 5 is going to be 10x equals. And then you're going to cross multiply these. 4 times x plus 6. So I get 4 times x plus 6. Now again, guys, it's going to be the same exact concept. Sorry, my allergies are killing me. Same exact concept, right? You're just going to cross multiply, and then you're going to solve, right? But we just add a couple more steps. Obviously, it's never going to be as easy as our quick review, but we just add a couple steps, right? So we've got to distribute this 4 to both this x and this 6. So we just bring it down. We have 10x equals 4x plus 24. Right, all you're doing is multiplying that 4 times both of those terms. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 6 is 24. Right, and then guys, this is an algebra 1 problem. Right, just algebra 1. This is way back when. So we have to get all the x's onto one side. So we're going to subtract 4x from both sides here. Sorry, my pin's messing up a little bit. So 10. I don't know why that's happening. So 10x minus 4x is 6x. And we still have the 24 on this side. And then it's simple, guys. You just divide by 6. So x equals 4. Right? Simple. Simple. Right? You just cross multiply. Multiply as you need. Like right now we distributed. And then you just solve for x the best you can. Right? So coming down to number 2. Again, guys, same exact process. So I encourage you to kind of stop the video, pause the video, and then try it on your own first, and then see if you get it correct. But if you're just watching, let's try it. So x minus 1 times 9, and then we have 6 times x plus 1. Right, so we have 9. Jeez, this thing's killing me. Sorry. 9 times x plus or minus 1. And that's going to be equal to 6 times x plus 1. That's a plus sign. Right, you're just cross multiplying. Simple as that. Then we got to distribute, right? So distribute this 9, distribute this 6. So 9 times x is 9x. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 1 is 6. Again, we need the x's and the constants all on one side, or on their own side. So we're going to bring the 6's this way. So these will cancel, and then I'll get 3x minus 9 over here equals 6. Then I'm going to add 9 to both sides. That's going to give me 3x equals 15. So x is going to equal 5. And sorry, I'm skipping that last step. Divide by 3 both sides. So these 3's will cancel, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Right, so again, guys, like I said, this is going to be pretty straightforward, this lesson today. Just a quick cross multiply, distribute as needed, and then you just solve for x the old school way, you know, just like Algebra 1. All right, coming down to number 3. So again, same process, guys, nothing changes. So I'm going to do this first. 2x plus 7 times x minus 5. And again, like I said, yes, it's going to get a little bit more complicated, but the premise of it is going to be the same. Right, so those are my cross multiplications. So first things first, I've got 2x plus 7 times x minus 5. Then, on the other side, I've got x times x minus 1. So yes, the problems will get a little bit more complex, right? But this now that you're looking at is stuff that we've known for a long time, right? We know how to FOIL. That's what you do here. You're going to FOIL this. Right, that's old news. And then on the right side over here, you're just going to distribute, right? Over here, you're just going to distribute this x in here. So let's draw that out. You just distribute this x to x and this x to negative 1. Right, so let's go ahead and do that. Remember, FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. So the first terms are 2x and x. So 2x times x is 2x squared. The O is for outside, so 2x and negative 5. That's going to give me negative 10x. The I is for inside, so these, 7 and x. So I have a plus 7x. And the last ones is this 7 and the negative 5. That's going to give me negative 35. And that's going to equal, I'm going to distribute this x to x. X times x is x squared. And then x times negative 1 is negative x. Right, so again, yes, it's going to turn into a little bit more work, guys. But I mean, when is math never gonna when is math ever gonna not turn into more work, right? We always introduce it to you really simple, and then we give you kind of the longer problems. That's exactly what this is, right? This turns into a little bit more steps, but the concept is the exact same, right? Concept's the exact same. So let's combine like terms here. So on this left side, I have 2x squared minus 3x, because I can combine these, minus 35 equals x squared minus x. So then I can subtract both of these. Right? So these will cancel, and I'll get x squared over here. Jeez, this pen is really messing up today. squared minus 3x minus 35 equals negative x. Then I've got to add an x to both sides. So this is just going to turn into a quadratic, guys. And I'm going to bring this... I'm running out of room here. I'm going to bring this with red over here. So these will cancel, right? And this will become a negative 2x. So let's write that over here. So I've got x squared minus 2x minus 35. And that's going to equal 0. And then I can just solve. I can factor this, right? So what are my factors of negative 35 that add to be negative 2? Well, that's going to be negative 7 and positive 5 equals 0. And then hopefully you remember the solutions of these are just going to be the opposite of what you see. So x minus 7 is going to be x equals positive 7. And x equals negative 5. So it just turns into a quadratic, guys. This time you're going to get two answers as your final answer, right? X could either be negative 7. I'm sorry. X could be either positive 7 or it could be x equals negative 5. Either of those will satisfy this equation, right? We have two solutions. That's no big deal. We've dealt with stuff like that before. That's perfectly fine, right? So going on to the next one, we can probably expect to see something like that again, where we have two answers. I will try not to go off the page like that time, but let's start it, right? So again, simple beginning, right? We're just going to cross multiply. So we're going to multiply, hold on. Okay, I'm back. So again, we're just going to cross multiply. So we have x plus 2 times x minus 3, right? And then we have, x squared minus 3 times 2. So again, we're just going to multiply x plus 2 and x minus 3. And then we're going to multiply the other one, x squared minus 3 times 2. Right, so we can just distribute that 2. So again, we're going to FOIL this side and then distribute this 2 on the other side. Nothing changes, right? So let's FOIL this first side first. So x times x is going to be x squared. Outside is x times negative 3. That's going to be negative 3x. Inside is 2 times x. That's going to be positive 2x. And last is going to be 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. Right? And then we're going to say that's equal to this pink side, so 2 times x squared is 2x squared, and 2 times negative 3 is going to be negative 6. Right. So then you just solve, right? So I'm going to combine like terms over here, these two. So I'm going to get x squared minus x minus 6 equals, and then this 2x squared minus 6 stays the same. Right, then I got to get everything to one side. So subtract 2x squared from both sides. And you know what, in the same step, let's also do this. I'm going to put it in red. We're also going to add 6 to both sides. Right. So these will cancel, these will cancel. So what I'm left with on this left side is going to be negative x squared minus x. Oops. Jeez, my pen is messing up. Minus x. And then that actually cancels out over here as well. So this is all I've got. Negative x squared minus x. Right? So then I take out a common factor. This is going to be a different way of factoring. Right? So I'm going to bring that actually up here. So at negative x squared minus x equals 0, I can take out a common factor. What can I take out? I can take out a negative x from both of those. Right? So after I take out a negative x from both, that's a terrible parentheses, I'm going to be left with an x plus 1. And that still equals 0. Now, what makes these two factors equal 0? This is some stuff that my kids have some trouble with sometimes just seeing. Well, this one's easy, right? This one's easy. What makes that 0? Well, it's just the opposite. X plus 1 is my factor, so my solution is going to be x equals negative 1. Right, but this is the one that kind of trips people up sometimes just because it's so simple. What makes this 0? Plugging in what for x gives me 0 for that term? Well, the only way to get 0 there is if I plug in 0. Right, that's the only way. So that's going to be my other solution. So my two solutions are, and I'll rewrite them just so we're clear about them. So my two solutions, the way that those two things will equal 0 is if x equals 0 or x equals negative 1. And those are my solutions. Right? So again, guys, yes, it gets a little bit more complicated. Right? Yes, it's going to get a little bit weirder as you go. But the concept is the same, right? Cross multiply and then simplify as you can, right? We cross multiplied here. We got this ugly stuff. We foiled, which foil is old school. We distributed, which distributing is old school, right? And then we just combined like terms until we got down to here. We took out a common factor, and then we said, when is that equal to 0? When do these two things equal to 0, right? We've done all this stuff before. None of this is new. The only part that's kind of new is cross multiplying here. That's it, right? So, again, guys, hopefully everything is going well. I know this quarantine's driving people mad, but just kind of stay healthy, stay positive, and if you need anything, we are all here to help you, right? We're all here to help you. So, on that note, goodbye. Dude, it happened again. That's embarrassing. Okay, bye.